Hey everyone, what I'd like to do in this video is talk about 4 of the best smartphone gimbals available in 2018. I will be showing you the DJI Osmo Mobile 2, the Zhiyun Smooth 4, the FreeVision Vilta Mobile and the Moza Mini-Mi. Now all of these gimbals are available for around the same price. They're all in a very similar price point, probably around between 80 and 130 dollars, pounds, euros, whatever. It will depend on whether you order directly from China or whether you order within your own country. But you know, if you search, you can see I've done a search here, and in the UK, the DJI Osmo Mobile 2, which I believe is the most expensive, that's £130 in the UK, just under that. For the Smooth 4, £76.99. The Vilta Mobile is £94.99, and the Moza Mini-Mi is £72.99. And again, prices will vary region to region, but I do think that these are all at a very similar price point. Now, you can obviously buy gimbals for different devices. You can buy gimbals for action cameras. You can buy gimbals for cameras. I will be talking about smartphones specifically. So these gimbals are designed for smartphones. And because they're designed for smartphones, I will be talking about external microphones and other things like that. So before I go on, I'd like to just put a little asterisk, a little disclaimer. I don't own any of these as yet. The reason I'm talking about this is because I have been relentlessly watching videos and comparison videos over the last few days, and I'm about to order one today or tomorrow. I'm going to just look at some more comparison videos and just make a decision on which one I'm going to buy. And you'll see when I'm talking about why I'm unsure about this, because all of these options are pretty good. Now, I've narrowed it down to 4, and the reason I want to show you these 4 different gimbals, the reason I want to show you these 4 is because when you start looking at all the different gimbals available, and there are a lot of ones out there, there's a lot of ones which are actually cheaper. There's some out there that are, you know, under 50, and some of them are okay. But if you look at the top reviews and all the best ones out there, the comparison videos, these 4 are the 4 that are always mentioned. So we're kind of going towards the end of 2018, and I do believe that even though I don't own them yet, you know, looking at all the videos out there and all the reviews out there, these are widely recognized as the best 4 gimbals available for smartphones in 2018. So with the disclaimer out the way, let's look at the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. And the first Osmo Mobile was very, very popular. That was actually more expensive. The Osmo Mobile came out, and it came out, I think it was $200 at the time. I remember I was thinking about buying it. And DJI are a very popular brand. And if you're looking for, I guess, you know, the gimbal from the biggest company, then it would be DJI Mobile. DJI are to gimbals what GoPro are to action cameras, if you look at it that way. So this is the Osmo Mobile 2. It's about $130. And you can pick it up a little bit cheaper. Now, you know, before I go on, just to kind of make a point that you can buy these used, you can buy them refurbished, and you can get them imported from China as well. Bear in mind that some of these gimbals, even from very good companies, some of them, they're not working well. The motors don't work well. The failure rate is quite high. So be careful with buying used. I would recommend trying to buy new, or one that's been refurbished by the actual company. You know, and within the UK, I've seen that DJI have got an officially recognised refurbished brand going out. So they're selling refurbished gimbals. So I'd feel safe ordering a refurbished one, but be careful if you buy one used. Make sure that there's an option to return it in case you get one that's, you know, not working. But here is the Osmo Mobile 2, and yeah, you know, you will see when you look at all 4 of these, you will see they all have kind of a similar design, but they've got slight variations. Now, they all have the tripod thread at the bottom. That allows you to mount it to a tripod of some kind, something like that, and you can put it on the base. And they all allow you to put the phone in portrait or landscape mode. But when it comes to spinning it in portrait mode or changing it around, you know, that's where some of them don't do it so well. You're going to see common features between them all. You're going to see things like time-lapse and all this motion-lapse, hyperlapse, slow-mo. Now, again, I'm going to draw a lot of comparisons between them, but there's a lot of similarities between all 4 of them, in that all of these gimbals come out with a dedicated app, but they also work with other apps. So they'll work with your default camera app. They might work with custom apps that you use. DJI Mobile, actually, DJI Osmo Mobile 2, this one's actually been designed to work with Filmic Pro, which is a very popular filming application. And this is one of the only ones that works with that. So if you use Filmic Pro, you might lean towards the Osmo Mobile 2. But yeah, it really does depend on what you're looking for. What I've seen a lot of people complain about is that the default camera app for all of these gimbals, the default camera app, the default gimbal app, the app that they push out, you need to use this app, you need to use their gimbal app in order to get motion lapse, hyperlapse, and unlock all the features. But one of the major complaints that everyone talks about is the fact that the application isn't the best. It crashes a lot, and there's some software issues there. Some people have complained about it a lot. Others think it's not too bad. Me, I'm kind of leaning towards using my normal default camera app, like default camera app or open camera, using the apps that I like. Now, I realize that there'll be some features that I can't use, but that's a price I'm willing to pay in order to use my preferred camera app. So the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. Okay, I'll get back on track. So some cool features about this. This has got 15 hours battery. It's got you can see it's got zoom there. You can start recording from the front there as well. One of the limitations about this is that it doesn't spin 360 degrees. When you spin it around, it kind of locks at one position, and then you need to spin it back. Now, for me, I don't think that's a major problem for me. But if you want to do a panorama shot and you want it to track you when you're walking around, and you just want to walk around like that, then this one will stop and then it'll go back round. Some people have complained about it. Other people say it's not a major issue. Again, for each of these, do your own research, look at reviews of each one, and then come to your own conclusion. But as one limitation of it, a lot of people have said it's a little bit plasticky, this one as well, but many people are raving about the app. They say the app is really good. They say it's very easy to use. They say that battery life is fantastic. And yeah, it's definitely one of the most popular options. And when you see a lot of comparisons between what the best gimbal is in 2018, Osmo Mobile 2 is normally either 1 or 2. Generally speaking, most people say it's the best one or the second best one. It's really at the bottom. Most people say that it's kind of like the benchmark. So if you are looking for a smartphone gimbal in 2018, I would start looking at the Osmo Mobile 2 and then look at some of the other options. And obviously I'm going to show you those just now. But you can see there's a lot of really cool controls there, a lot of cool features. And there's a lock mode and there's a pan mode, and when you lock it, you move it around and the phone stays still. So there's a lot of really cool options there. 485 grams, 15 hours battery life, and then there's the dimensions. The Osmo Mobile isn't too big. The Zhiyun Smooth 4, which I'm going to show you, is a little bit longer, a little bit heavier as well. So there's things like that you need to take into consideration. Now, before I look at these other ones, one of the major things that I'm looking at, and I'm sure many other people will be looking at as well, is where the hell do you put your microphone? What am I doing? That's not a microphone, that's a tripod. Where the hell do you put your microphone? Because if you are vlogging, sometimes I'll be vlogging with the gimbal and I'll just be using it like this, and I will use the default app, the default microphones built into the smartphone. The default microphones in my smartphone right now, they're not too bad. They're certainly not as good as an external mic, but in certain situations, it's not too bad. But when I'm going to an event, when I want to get good quality audio, I'm not going to rely on the smartphone audio. I'm going to use an external microphone. Now, when I'm myself, I can use a lavalier mic, but generally speaking, I'm going to use a microphone. And the big problem that most people have with the Osmo Mobile 2 and with many other gimbals is that there's nowhere to actually put your mic. There's nowhere to actually position it. Now, there's a lot of workarounds around that. This is the Video Micro, and this and the Rode Video Mic-Me are small enough that you can, just put like a little bit of sticky tape and just stick it to the side. And you'll see lots of videos with people doing that with the Rode Video Micro and the Video Me. And they just kind of stick it to the side of the pole and they just have it like that. Another option is to put a bracket. So I probably should have prepared that. I've got a bracket in the drawer there, and I've used brackets a lot in the past to put like a microphone here. If you go back a few years, I did some videos about building a rig for my Sony RX100 Mark III, where I built a rig for my audio recorder. And yeah, this is quite common, and it's a workaround you see a lot, is where you put in an L bracket with 2 tripod extensions. You put it to the base of the Osmo Mobile and you can insert your microphone. I'm not saying it's a deal breaker, guys. I'm not saying it's a deal breaker, but just bear in mind, if you're planning on using an external microphone with your gimbal, pay attention to what other people are doing with external microphones, because it will influence what you're doing as well. And take it into consideration, because whatever one you pick from these, they all have their strengths and weaknesses, and whatever you buy, you're going to have to trade off something for something else, whether it be battery life or stabilization or something. Bear that in mind. So I do believe the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 is the benchmark. I think it's safe to say that, and it's what most people recommend. But there's a lot of other options here. Here is the Smooth 4, and this is from Zhiyun, and they have released a huge number of gimbals as well. Now you can see the design here. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different from there's a good picture of it. So it's a little bit different from the Osmo Mobile 2. So the runtime on this one, you can see here, is 12 hours. So a little bit less, but still pretty good. This one has a Type-C charging port. Now that's pretty cool, I think, because my phone has Type-C. The Osmo Mobile 2 has micro B, and I would say most of them have micro B instead of Type-C, so that's pretty good from there. Now this one has got, if I can pull this up, this one has got like a little dial at the side, and this can be used for a zoom. This little dial at the side here can be used for zoom, and that is something that a lot of people have been raving about and a lot of people have been complaining about. And this, again, you're going to see complaints and people raving about certain features and other people disagreeing with them online, so you have to come to your own conclusion. With that dial, a lot of people say it's fantastic because you can zoom in and zoom out using the dial. Other people say that when you do that, it's kind of jerky. It's worth noting that this one is a little bit longer. This is a little bit longer and a little bit heavier than the Osmo Mobile 2. I believe it's the longest and the heaviest out of all 4 of these here. Excuse me. So this has got a lot of really cool features as well. You can see it's got the pan mode, the locking mode, the falling mode. I think that is, from a control point of view, I think this has got a lot more options than the Osmo Mobile 2. And, you know, you can see it's got motion lapse, hyperlapse, slow motion, all these different things that, and again, many of these are only available through the Smooth 4 app. So, you know, through their gimbal app you have to use to get some of these features. But they're all there, they're all built in. And yeah, you know, the quality of footage from this, yeah, and again, this is one of the main things you have to look at, is stabilization. The quality of footage of this looks pretty good as well. So this is another option. It's definitely one I'm considering. I'm considering all 4 at this point, I really am. This is definitely one of the better options out there as well. And which one is better, this one or the Osmo Mobile 2? I've seen a few people saying the Smooth 4 is better. I've seen a few people saying the Osmo Mobile 2 is better. It's one of those things, guys. And this is how, you know, people like myself, YouTubers who do reviews, we are kind of biased sometimes when, you know, if you've only used one item, or even if you use 2 items, you know, if I've owned the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 and the Smooth 4, I can tell you why I like one over the other. But everyone's situation and everyone's priorities as to why they're using a gimbal and what they're recording is very, very different. So I've noticed some people stressing about how great the hyperlapse and slow motion and time lapse and all these features are, despite the fact that for me, these aren't too important for me. Not right now anyway. So bear that in mind. You're going to be using it in a slightly different way from other people. So look at what's important to you and look at different reviews to find out what's important to you. This is, without doubt, one of the better options out there, and it is a little bit cheaper than the Osmo Mobile 2 as well, so that's another good thing. So, on to the FreeVision Vilta Mobile. Now, the Osmo Mobile 2, 15 hours, 12 hours with the Smooth 4, and the Moza Mini-Mi, which we'll be talking about soon, has got 10 hours battery. The FreeVision, 17 hours battery life. That is insane, and that's definitely one of the best selling points of the FreeVision Vilta Mobile. Now, all of these devices, all these gimbals have a USB port and they have a way of charging your phone, but bear in mind the quoted times they're giving you, you know, maybe knock 20-30% off that, but also, you know, if they say 10 hours, maybe you'll get 7 hours. But also, if you are using your gimbal to charge your phone, well, the runtime is going to be a little bit less. If you're spending all day charging your phone whilst you're recording and you're charging it directly through your gimbal, then you're not going to get the 7-8 hours. Maybe you only get 3 or 4 hours. That's, you know, it's just the way it is. If you're charging your battery via the built-in battery, then you're going to use up that battery that was designed for your gimbal. Again, for me, this isn't a major problem because I would always take a power bank with me. I've got a couple of power banks. I might buy another one just so I get one with quick charge. And yeah, bear that in mind. If you find that it's draining too quickly whilst it's charging the phone and being used as a gimbal, just take a power bank with you. It's not a deal breaker. But from a battery life point of view, 17 hours is pretty impressive. It is quite impressive. So this one is quite a small one as well, quite a small size certainly compared to the Smooth 4. And you can see there it's got a really cool grip on it. Go down, 17 hours battery, intelligent battery management. So you can see here, this one's got like a button on the back, and then it's got a mode button and joystick as well. And they all handle zoom and recording in a different way. Not detecting phone, Vilta Mobile won't work. Consider it a design to be right. Okay, so things like that. If your phone isn't placed there, it won't spin round and things like that. So this one, probably out of all 4 of them, this is probably the one that I've seen the least reviews of. It doesn't seem to be as popular as many of the other options out there. But the people who have did video reviews of this have spoke very, very highly of it. So, you know, if you're looking for a gimbal review, I would say that most people buy the Osmo Mobile 2. It's from a bigger brand. It's available in all over the world, and it's probably available locally. So bear that in mind, guys. You know, I'm not saying the Osmo Mobile 2 isn't the right one for you. I'm saying because it is a brand name and because it's more available, you will see more reviews of it, and people sometimes are biased as to saying this one is the best one without even looking at alternatives. And the FreeVision one, the Vilta, it just doesn't seem to be as popular. Certainly not as popular as the Smooth 4 and the Osmo Mobile 2. But the reviews I have seen about it, they are very, very positive. So you can see the tripod tray there. So this is a very good option, I think. The footage I saw of it looked very good as well. And yeah, that's definitely one you should consider. The footage I saw of it looked great. It looked like a very good option. Now I've got the Moza Mini-Mi. Now, as I said, at this point, I'm still considering all 4 of these gimbals. I'm going to spend all night looking some more at these, but I have flip-flopped a few times. But right now, I am heavily leaning towards the Moza Mini-Mi. Now, as I pointed out previously, the Moza Mini-Mi only has a 10-hour battery life. So with the Mobile 2, 15 hours. This one is 12 hours. The FreeVision's got 17 hours. The Moza Mini-Mi has got 10 hours, and one of the reviews that I saw said it only really gets about 8 hours and maybe only 3 hours if you're spending it all the time charging it. But this phone has a few things that I love. Firstly, well, it has wireless charging. That is a very, very cool idea. Now, granted, it isn't a major problem for me. My phone doesn't support wireless charging, but my next phone might support wireless charging, so it is cool to have that feature. And it is a feature that is necessary. I do think that all of these gimbals should have this. If you look at the design of all these gimbals, one of the major problems that many people have is when you put your phone, you know, they've got them all advertised in portrait mode there, but landscape mode is probably the option where most people would put them. You know, they handle their phone in landscape mode like this. More people I see using it like this. But can you see the problem there? The problem is when your phone is in landscape mode, it's very, very difficult to get a cable in there to charge your phone. So that's a bit of a pain. And, you know, obviously you can flip your phone the other way, but then you might run into problems with the power button, the volume button, hitting the clasp, depending on your phone design. But I've seen a lot of people talk about this and the fact that you need to push your phone out a little bit and then you squeeze the cable in. You're not going to have that problem with the Mini-Me if you have a phone that supports wireless charging. I think it's a very cool feature. It's not one I need right now because I don't have a phone that supports it, but I think that is a feature that should be standard moving forward. Now, all of these gimbals, I believe all of them, I know the Moza and the Osmo Mobile 2, and I think the Zhiyun as well, they've all got a USB port, so you can charge your phone using the battery and just plug in a cable. So Even if you don't have wireless charging on your phone, don't worry about it. You can still charge your phone via the gimbal. Now, the feature that I really love about this, so you can see the unlimited power source, power supply using the USB port. But the thing that I really love about this, and I need to jump ahead past a lot of these features, is, where are you? Where are you? Here. This is why I love this gimbal and why I'm strongly considering buying it. Now, I talked about this before. I talked about all these gimbals. You're going to have to look at how you attach an external microphone. And, you know, also you have to decide whether you use one that just takes power from the gimbal or from your phone, or if you use a battery-powered one. This one requires a battery, which is great because it's a better microphone, but there's always that risk that you forget to turn it on and then you don't record anything, or you leave it on too long and you drain the batteries, then you don't have batteries. But the bigger issue here is the fact that there's nowhere to actually attach, I'm picking up that tripod again, there's nowhere to attach these external microphones. There's nowhere to really attach them onto the Osmo Mobile 2 or the Zhiyun Smooth 4 without using a bracket or using tape or using some sort of weird accessory to attach the microphone. There's nothing built in. With the Moza Mini-Mi, there's 4 tripod threads. You've got the one at the bottom that the rest of them have. You've got one at the back, but you've also got one at the bottom and at the top of the smartphone clasp. That is absolutely fantastic. You know, you can see that here. I've got quite a lot of different versions of this, but this is a smartphone holder, and this has got the thread at the top and the bottom. And it is essential. It is essential for for attaching an external mic. Now, another thing to note is you might not be able to attach it to where you want it to in one of these other gimbals. For example, if you look at the Osmo Mobile 2 here, you could probably put some sort of fabric or something to the top of the device and you can attach an external microphone. But it's not as simple as that, because these gimbals are all designed to carry a certain weight, and when you put too much weight on it, it's going to throw the motors off, and you might find the phone starts tilting, or it doesn't, the gimbal stops working the way that it was intended because you put some extra weight on the top. It throws it out of sync. It is a problem, and it is something you need to consider, and it's why most people attach their microphones on the Osmo Mobile 2. The Osmo Mobile 2 and the Smooth 4, etc. Most people are attaching the microphones to the handle, or they're attaching it to the base with the tripod. Now, I'm not saying it's a major pain in the ass, but Moza have really thought about this, and they've really made it, very, very useful. Not just added a second tripod thread, they've added 4. And you might not even use it for an external microphone. You could use this for lights. You can use it to attach the gimbal to a tripod in a different position. It is very, very useful. It looks like a simple feature, but it's something that is very, very essential. And this could be what swings me towards buying this one over the other ones. But again, I'm going to sit back tonight. I'm going to look at the different options and see which ones are available to me. This one has a cool Inception mode as well, that you can go upside down and all that. So that's pretty cool. Focus control, zoom control, there's the default app, time lapse, fast tracking. As I said, but when you compare the 4 of these gimbals have more similarities than they do differences. They all work in a very similar way. They all work with their default camera app. They handle some things differently, and some of them do things better than others. For example, I was looking at a video about the Moza Mini-Mi, and yes, I love the wireless charging, and yes, I love all those tripod threads, but I saw one saying that there's no way to actually record directly via the gimbal. So if you look at the Osmo Mobile 2, there's a record button there for taking photos or videos. Apparently, you can't do that through the Moza Mini-Mi, and you have to actually click on the phone. Again, not a deal breaker, but it would be great to have it on the gimbal itself so that you don't actually have to push the screen. So, yeah. Now, I do highly recommend you looking at detailed reviews of each of these devices and looking closely at each one. This is why I don't think there is a best one. I don't think there is an ultimate one. I think you have to look at what's important to you. If you don't need an external microphone, then maybe the Moza Mini-Mi isn't, the Moza Mini-Mi, maybe that one isn't for you, and maybe those features that I'm raving about aren't so good when you consider that it only has 10 hours of battery when the FreeVision Vilta has 17 hours. But it can be difficult looking at these reviews determining which one is for you. And I'll give you an example. I was looking at a comparison between the Mini-Me and the Osmo Mobile 2. Now, when they are used in the default camera app, the Osmo Mobile 2 had better stabilization. The quality of footage looked a lot better and it looked less shaky. So when the person was recording with the Moza Mini-Mi default app, and when they used the DJI app with the DJI Osmo Mobile 2, this one looked better. The footage looked better. It was less shaky. It was panning better. The quality just looked better. And ultimately, that's what this is for. You know, when you're recording with your phone, you know, when you're using the front camera, it's very shaky, which is why you're buying a gimbal in the first place. You know, you want to get that stabilization. And when the person used the DJI app with the Osmo Mobile 2, it looked a lot better than the Moza Mini-Mi did with their default app. But there is a big but here. There is a big but. When the same person used both gimbals with the default camera app of their phone, so like I think might have been an iPhone app, it might have been just the iPhone default camera app. When they used it with that, the Moza Mini-Me had better stabilization. The quality of footage actually looked better than the Osmo Mobile 2. So that is something you may see. You might see the footage looks a lot better via their gimbal app than your camera's default app or whatever camera application you're using. It's a little bit strange. I was surprised to see that myself, but it does seem to be the case that sometimes some of them perform better with the default camera app and some of them perform better just with, you know, any camera app. It did seem that DJI Mobile performed very well with their own app, but when compared to the Mini-Me with, you know, your phone's camera app, it just didn't look as good. So this is why I'm saying do your research, guys, because there's a lot of things to look at. Most of the reviews I've seen have complained about the camera apps that are provided for the gimbals. They've all said that they crash a lot. They've all said that, you know, they're just not refined. But if you're looking to use slow motion, time lapse, and a lot of these other features, some of the buttons will only work if you actually use their app. So you might have to use it. But the way that I'm looking at it is that I'm buying a gimbal specifically for my phone for stabilization. There's certain custom features I would like to use, and I may use them sometimes. For example, I saw a feature of the Moza Mini-Mi, and I'm not sure if it's listed on this page, but I saw someone talking about it, and one of the problems I've had with recording via my phone is that if I start recording with the selfie camera and I start recording there, it records using the front sensor, but I can't just push like reverse and then switch to the back sensor. It just doesn't allow me to switch between the front and back camera. But what the Moza Mini had is there's an option where you push the button twice, I think, and it just does this and it pans round the phone. And then you can press it again and it'll pan back. So that's pretty cool, because if you want to show someone, you can continue to use the front camera, but just spin it round. But there's a lot of options like this that only work if you're using their app, time lapse and things like that. So you have to look into it and you have to do a lot of reviews. Now, as I said, at this point, I'm going to leave it over to you guys. I'll leave links to all of these websites. Check them out. But if you do like the look of one over another, look at some comparison videos, look at some reviews, and trying to get a feel for what actually is important to you. Because yes, battery life is very important to me as well. So it should take me away from the Moza Mini-Mi, but that is something I'm maybe willing to sacrifice, because I think 10 hours is still enough for me. I can take a power bank, and some of the other features that it does have, like the tripod threads, are perhaps more important to me, but they may not be important for you, which is why you're going to have to look at each of these and then decide which one is best for you. You also have to look at prices. You have to look at which one is available locally to you if you don't want to order from China. And if you do order from China, again, just be careful. I do order from China a lot. This phone came from China, but sometimes, you know, if the price isn't a huge difference, you might be better just paying an extra 10 or 20 or $30 or whatever and just buying locally, buying your own country, so that you don't have to wait weeks for delivery, and so that if there's any problems, you can return it. I'm a big supporter of buying things direct from China when it saves you a ton of money, but when you're only saving a little bit of money, you're probably better buying locally. That's my view on it. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this useful. I realise I haven't actually reviewed any here because, you know, I'm doing research myself. But I hope you've learned a little something about gimbals. I think gimbals are very, very useful. And when I first started looking at gimbals a year or so ago, they were still kind of rough around the edges, and they were probably around twice the price back then as well. You know, they were mostly over 200, but there was a lot of people complaining about, you know, they weren't working as well as they should. I do think in 2018 they're a lot more refined, but you also, you know, in addition to them being more refined this year, you've got more options, which is also great. There's a lot of options out there. There's 4 that I've just shared with you. Take into consideration the price, take into consideration what the features are, take into consideration the buttons and the way that it moves around and whether it does what you want it to do. And take into consideration the app, because if the app is really bad and you don't want to use that app, well, sorry, you might be forced to use it because certain features might not be available unless you use their default app, their gimbal app. So it's unfortunate, but some features are going to be locked and customized only, and you know, available and customizable only via their application. It's kind of similar to what you get in the action camera world as well. If you download the GoPro action camera app, you can do lots of things from your phone and you can control it via your phone, but you can't do that through any third-party application or solution. So I guess it's not uncommon to have that. So thanks for watching, guys. And just to summarize again, the 4 that I'm looking at and deciding which one to order is the DJI Osmo Mobile 2, the Zhiyun Smooth 4, the FreeVision Vilta Mobile, and the Moza Mini-Mi. A late entrant to the gimbal party for me, but one that's definitely, you know, definitely option. This is a little bit of a wild card because I've only started looking at this one the last day or so. I think it looks quite good though. I will keep you guys updated. I'm looking to order within the next day or so. So hopefully you guys will see an unboxing of my brand new gimbal very, very soon. If you do have your own gimbal and you've been using one for a while, please do leave a comment. Please give your opinion on this and please let me know which one you think is the best of 2018. And if you know, if there's a gimbal out there I didn't mention in this video, you know, if there's one that out with these 4 that you think is really good and is worth the money, please do leave a comment, let other people know, and, you know, hopefully help me and others who are looking at these mobile phone gimbals. I was going to say mobile gimbals, but mobile phone gimbals is more specific. Okay, guys, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. As always, please do leave a comment, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Cheers, guys.